is a song called Kelly Ann. That's a song to wake you up in the morning, isn't it? Great stuff. It's by Tony Andrews, and I'm so pleased to say that Tony's on the other end of this phone. Good morning, Tony. How are you doing?
Good morning, Kev. I'm good.
Lovely stuff. I tell you what, that song really does wake you up in the morning. It does.
Thanks.
There is a connection with that song and one of the books, which we'll talk about a little bit later on into the interview. But what I want to do is find out, how did the whole music thing start with you? Because you've had a very interesting list of past jobs. So where did did all the music come from?
Well, I've just always been mad about music, but I never really got into it. I only picked up the guitar when I was about 20, 21, and I had a Beatles book, and they're so simple to practice, like just learning chords, and I just got into it, and I just couldn't leave it alone. And in my mid-20s, I started, got a little band together, and I think I was about 26, 27. We started doing gigs. We had our first gig at the Dublin Castle in Camden, and just kept pushing forward and feeding the fire, feeding what I love, I just love it so much. So, lots of songs later, I've recorded so many songs, but I just love it. You've got to do what makes you feel good.
Oh, yeah, you have indeed, and that fire is now an inferno. Let's go back a little bit, because, this really made me smile when I was reading your bio. You travelled around in a converted ice cream van, cutting keys and sort of engraving dog tags and cat tags and everything. I mean, where did that idea come from? First of all, of sort of going around in a converted ice cream van?
Well, my sister. I've got a really proactive sister. She's really cool. Her name's Wendy. And I've actually got a song called Hey Sister, all about her. But she got the idea, and she wanted to our father's got like a shop, he had a shop for key cutting and shoe repairs, and she just said, I want to, do that in the markets. And then she did, and they really, like, my sister and her partner, they really just took the ball and ran with it, and they were doing like Wembley Stadium and lots of London markets, and then they got themselves a little shop, and she just said, look, Tone, the van's free, do you want to give it a shot? And I was like going to Felixstowe. I was living in Suffolk for about, 10 months. And I was, I went to all the markets around there, and I was going to Wembley Market. And it was just really cool because you're self-employed, and it's a bit eccentric and unorthodox, a big guy in a van cutting keys and changing watch batteries. But I liked it a lot, and it also gave me a lot of freedom. I was in Portobello Market for quite a while. So yeah, it's all good,
And it obviously got you noticed as well. And talking about Portobello Market and places like that, they were places that you used to busk as well. So I mean, how was the busking? Because a lot of people they'll just wander by. They don't take any notice or anything. And obviously you do get people who sort of stand and listen and film and everything. So is busking a thing that you enjoyed doing?
I do now. I mean, it was really weird at first because you're so nervous. You're so kind of. It's like getting into a swimming pool with freezing cold water. Like, what am I doing? I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm on the street and I'm singing, But after a while, you get to enjoy it, and it was a lot of fun playing down Portobello Road because it's very artistic friendly down there. There's lots of people who are just artists, designer clothes and paintings and graffiti artists and singers and actors. It's all down Portobello Road, and I just really enjoyed it. And I had a really nice friend on the saxophone, Steve Ellery. He actually did a little bit of playing in the track you just played, Kelly Ann. He's a little bit of saxophone on that. But yeah, it kind of like, he was like a bit of a crutch, because I was like, Steve's coming, it's not just going to be me. I'm singing and playing on the street with my buddy, and but I quite like busking now. It's a really strange way to describe it, but it's like having a shower on the inside. After like busking for an hour, you feel like you've kind of got all your, just dropped the baggage you don't need, and you kind of just sang your heart out, and you kind of feel cleaner on the inside.
And it's a great way as well to get that talent out there, and also I imagine if you've got a new song to sort of try it out on the public, to see if they like it.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah, I've got one that I haven't recorded yet, It's called Yippee-I-A, and I have played it down Portobello, and it was really nice. My friend was standing by me, and a couple of girls passing by said, "Where can I get that song? Where can I get that song?" And my friend Wade, he just goes, "Oh, it's not been recorded yet." So yeah, it's a good way to kind of test the waters.
Now, I also mentioned it in the intro as well, that you're also a published children's author, and there's a link between your first book, which was called Louise Buttersky, with the song that we've just played there, Kellyanne. Tell us what the link is.
Yeah. Well, she's one of the characters in the book. I mean, I'm a little bit bonkers, to be honest. I'm an artist. I'm in my right side of my brain all the time, and I love being creative. And I just ended up writing this story, and it's just kind of become a big thing in my life. And because I'm dyslexic, when I got the idea for writing it, it just kept growing and growing. And I see visions, like, you know, a lot of dyslexic people like see visions and like have ideas and see pictures in their mind. And I just thought, well, this should be a film. It's going to end up being a film. And because I've given it so much time and attention and love and reworking the book and re-editing, blah, 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 I feel really like happy where it's at now. It's just kind of, it's very fun and quirky. And the little girl, the title, Louise Buttersky, she's telling the story, so it's kind of like in the first person. And she's a little bit like a street kid from Camden, like a bit of a tomboy, a bit, you know, cheeky and yeah, it's just fun, you know. It's all in the name of fun. So we give people, especially after the horrible, you know, lockdown experience we all went through in 2020. Just want to kind of inject a load of good energy back out there, you know. And I want to do it through this book with like music and a story.
How easy is it writing for children? Then, because I mean, you've got to sort of, I don't know. I imagine it's very different than writing for an adult audience. I mean, how do you get into the mind of what a child wants to read?
Well, I like the question, but I don't have the answer. I just write because it feels like a really good thing to do, and I get a kind of immediate like good feeling after writing for an hour. I love it, and it's cathartic. That's definitely a part of it. But I have gone back to it again and again, and kind of watered it down and tried to make it very kind of you know, kids these days, like especially with the social media, and they scroll through their phones and stuff on the different platforms, and they've got like a very short attention span. So what I've tried to do with the book is make it move along really, really fast, you know?
Now, your second children's novel, I mean, this is a section of sort of shorter stories anyway, so this definitely moves on very fast. It's called Seven Wacky Tales, and just looking through some of the titles there, Nancy's Nanny, Stanley, the stairlift mechanic, and I love this, Reggie Jones, the dancing Labrador, Jack the lighthouse keeper, Quicksilver Dave to the rescue, and there's others in there, Frankie's fishing trip and everything. There's some wonderful characters in there, and especially Reggie Jones, the dancing Labrador.
That's a big one. That's like the last story at the end of the book.
So where did all these characters come from?
I don't know. They just pop into my head. I mean, well, like there are like links. Like my best friend, he lives in Hong Kong, and his name's Dave. And you know, the story Quicksilver Dave to the rescue is about a spider who he lives in Mexico, and his sister, she accidentally gets caught inside a suitcase of a Russian tourist and goes to Russia. So he's kind of like, it's like a kind of Indiana Jones kind of thing, but with insects, and he has to like get to trek all the way up Mexico, America, Canada, Alaska, hitch a ride on a boat and get over to Russia to find his sister. So it's a lot of fun, but I just get really into it, and I just get so excited, and I get really happy about all the different characters. And like Reggie Jones, for instance, God bless him, my cousin's dog, Reggie, a brown Labrador, he was only around for a few years. He got it's a horrible thing. I don't want to talk about it, but he's got squashed by a truck.
Oh.
It's really sad. But moving on, I
Yeah.
thought I'm going to write a great story, and I thought to myself, Reggie, I love that name. So, you know, I've just created a whole story about this Labrador. He loves to dance, and he finds a secret nightclub down on a pier where all the animals go together at like midnight and after midnight, and they all dance and have a laugh. And then there's obviously, like in a lot of stories, you've got to have a kind of middle bit where there's a little bit of something heavy happens, a bit of a tragedy, and you know, it does. And I won't tell you the whole story now, of course, but it's fun, and it's kind of like, you've got to kind of get the readers on the edge of their seat. You know, what happened, you know? Did you make it? You know, and all that kind of stuff. So I just love it, because I'm kind of telling the story to myself at the same time. So the kid in me is still, like, active and alive, and it's like the adult's doing the writing, but it's like two people at the laptop who are kind of enjoying it together, like the kid and the adult.
I tell you what, I don't know about kids, but I want to read these books now. You've got me on the edge of the seat. I want to know what happened. Talking about...
I'll send it to you, because I'll email it to you.
Oh, amazing
you know,
stuff. Can't wait. I love sitting down with a good book.
Happy.
Talking about dogs, I mean, you had a Highland Terrier, which was a bit of a traveller himself. He liked popping on the tube and going off. Tell us about that.
Goodness. I had a lovely dog called Mac. I'm looking at a picture of him now, and he was a real lovely firecracker. I think I was 13 when we got him, and 27 when he passed. So like a real strong, you know, little buddy all through my teenage years. And he got on the tube. My best friend, the same guy I was saying a minute ago, that guy called Dave. He lived in East Finchley. I lived in Whetstone. Anyway, he'd come over and say, let's go back to we're like 14-year-olds, so let's come back to East Finchley, we'll play football in the park, we'll have a laugh, watch a few videos, whatever. And he goes, bring Mac. So Mac came with, and he was so excited on the tube. And then, anyway, that was all good. Nice weekend. Come Monday morning, you know, back to normal life, back to school. But Mac crept out the house. We lived in a cul-de-sac, a nice little quiet road, so sometimes he'd be let out the front door. And he just decided, I'm going to get on the train again. And he just went all the way down to the tube and got on the train and got off at Finchley Central. We got off one stop too early.
He's a clever little dog, that is, so, and brilliant.
He was so big-headed. He had such a terriers, you know, they take the world on.
Ah, yes, I've got a terrier, cross terrier and chihuahua, and yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, they take anyone on. Nutters.
Oh, definitely. And still with the literary connection there, you've got a connection with Edgar Wallace, I believe, who was the creator of King Kong.
Yeah, it was, it's, my uncle told me at a funeral, because I've been a lazy writer for like years, but when I heard that, it was a real kind of kick up the bum. So, like, you know, I got the ideas, but my dyslexia had been really like putting me off it. So, but I wrote Louise Buttersky, the first draft, on my phone. Just like most of it was just talking into, you know, the dictaphone, just talking into it, and I just kept on improving it and going back to it. But to answer your question. So my Uncle David told me that, he's related to Edgar Wallace. And I think the right connection is, so my mum's dad is an old fella called Frank, who's no longer with us. And Frank's mum was the daughter of Edgar Wallace, but Edgar was a naughty boy. He had a kid outside marriage, and back then it was really frowned upon, an illegitimate child, So anyway, but yeah, it's really good because it kind of helped me join the dots. You know, I do get lots of like ideas for stories, and it's like, oh, that's where it comes from. And I've got a writer in
That's it.
Family tree.
That's where it comes from. So back to the music, and your new song is a song called Deeper, and it is a little bit deeper. It's a bit of a love song, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I love your accent. It pops a love.
Oh, it's me being up north. That's what it is.
I love it. The first band I was in, a guy called Matt was from Leeds, and you'd never know until he said the word last. And when he said the word last, it was like all was revealed. But
Ah.
I love it.
See,
Anyway,
I've not got my radio voice on, you see, that's what it is.
Oh, I see.
I'm just common as muck, that's all, Tony, that's all.
Kemper from Oxford. Deeper, yeah. I'm really proud of that song, actually. I put a lot of work into it. And I wrote it when I was in a warehouse, just broken up from someone. And I was like pretending that I just found the right girl. And I put it all into a song. And then it took a while to get it, like, you know, found some really cool musicians. There's a lovely girl on it doing a bit of backing vocals, a Cantha. She's like American, Cantha Lang. And yeah, just found a really good studio and recorded it. I mean, yeah, it came out all right.
It did indeed. We're going to play that right now. So for anybody who wants to find out anything more about you, your books, the music, and everything else, how can they find out more about Tony Andrews?
Well, I've got a website. It's very simple. It's TonyAndrewsMusic.com.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I might be performing in. There's a little St Albans festival called Pub in the Park, and I'm waiting to hear back from a nice girl. But anyway, it'll be on the website soon. It's not, you know, just like go to the website and look at gigs, and probably, hopefully, maybe like Friday or Saturday next week, I'll be putting like St Albans on there.
Brilliant stuff. Well, we'll look out for that, we will. In the meantime, we're going to play the new song, which is called Deeper. How can people get hold of the song?
It's on iTunes. Yeah, there's a swear word that I don't use, but I'll say it on the radio because it won't upset people. It's not a real swear word, but it's called Spotify. But I don't put it on Spotify. I've got some songs on Spotify, but some songs I haven't. But,
you got me worried then.
No, I'm not going to swear. But you know, I don't think when I put Deeper, when I downloaded it and released it, like self-released, I think I skipped the Spotify box. It didn't tick that one. But you can buy it on iTunes, you know.
Brilliant.
Support an independent artist.
Absolutely.
That's my plea.
Absolutely. So go to iTunes and buy this, download it and everything, because it's a great track. And then you can check out the other stuff that Tony's done as well, because there's a lot to check out and some amazing songs in there, like Bamboo, which just puts a smile on my face every time I listen to it.
Isn't it?
It's absolutely bonkers. And I can't wait for what was it? Yippee-I-A?
EPIA.
Yeah. Can't wait to see that on there.
YouTube. It's on YouTube, like just acoustic recording, but it's not recorded yet, you know.
Oh, we'll look out for that then. Tony, it's been great chatting to you this morning, and such an interesting history of stuff that you've done as well, and the music is fantastic. I love Deeper, I love Kellyanne, and I love everything, basically. Thank you so much for coming on and telling us a little bit about yourself and the music as well. Have a great rest of the Sunday, and we'll look out for new stuff on YouTube and iTunes, and just visit Tony's website and you'll find out everything about it. So have a great Sunday, and hopefully we'll speak to you again soon. Cheers, Tony.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for having me. You take care now.
My pleasure. Take care, Tony. Thank you.
All right. All the best. All right. Cheers now. Bye.
Baby, your love is like a rain.